Hi, my name is James Adam Tucker. For the past 35 years, I've been an actor, director, and editor right here in Hollywood. Today, what I want to focus on, I'm going to continue on this path, this subject matter about creating your first or one of your newest no budget or low budget films. I like to say no budget because most of the time when I started out, those are the type of films I worked on. And a lot of people who are starting out in this business don't have someone willing to back them or put money up. So you end up making something no budget or very micro budget. Today's topic, I want to focus on how do I find actors to work on my no budget film. So let's go back many years ago when I first started out. And it's something that I still use to this day when I work with actors or I work on projects that really don't have a budget. I always have projects that have minimal cast. We might have what we call day players that are in and out, but the main cast is always going to be minimal. Some of the projects I've worked on, maybe smallest minimal cast, I could say maybe were 4 characters. I've been up to maybe 6 or 10 main characters, but you always, number one, you always want to keep it to a minimum because you want to effectively tell your story. You want to be able to engage your audience, and you want talented actors who are new to the business, who are doing it because they want this experience that you're giving them. Most new actors can't get lead roles. I've worked with, I'm not going to drop any names, but I've worked with a number of actors who are successful actors to this day, who currently, some are even TV series, some even have leads on TV series that I worked with when they were brand new actors and they worked for no pay because they needed experience. And one thing I want to say to all you filmmakers out there, myself as an actor, if you get actors to work for you, you owe them a copy of their footage. Even if it's not completed, even if it's not edited, even if you don't feel it's your best work, you owe that to the actors who have worked with you on your project for free, who showed up on time on the set, who memorized the lines on their own time. It really frustrates me when I meet actors who worked on student projects or independent projects, no budget projects, and they invested their time, their energy. They maybe have to take off of work, use gas, and sometimes even down to the point where they had to buy their own meals on the movie set, which is something I won't get into that right now, but that's something that I'm totally against. If you can't feed your actors who are working for you for free, in my opinion, you don't need to do your project. But that's not what we're talking about now. We'll get to that later on as I move forward in this new series that I'm doing about making a no budget film. But again, back to my main subject. You want to find actors who are talented, who take it seriously and want to do it because they want that experience of having a lead role. That's why I say a lot of times I keep it to 4 characters when I'm doing a no budget project, and I have minimal locations, but we keep the cast small so that each actor can have a prominent role. Because if they're working for you for free, they need to really get something out of it. And you'll hear me, I wear both hats, the actor hat and the producer or director hat. So I always, when I'm in this hat, when I'm in the position as a director, I always have my actor mindset because that's how I got into this business as an actor. And that was my main goal of getting into this business. So I'm always going to be in favor of the actors. And as I'm talking to you guys out there about production, I want you to think about the actors, how they are taking this seriously and they're investing their time and they're coming to show up on your set and they're waiting through the long time and hours that they may have to wait and sit around. And then once you need them, they're ready to go. Those are the actors that you want to work with. When you're at the beginning and you're casting, one thing that I would always say is that you want actors who are willing to rehearse also. Because if they don't have a lot of experience, you're going to need to work with them outside of the shooting days. You can't expect to, do all the details of character development and all that kind of stuff when you're shooting. Especially when we're talking about no budget or low budget projects. You want the actors to come to the set prepared and ready to go. They know their lines. I always tell people, I just came actually right before I shot this video, I just came from a meeting with another young producer who I'm partnering with to do a independent feature. Now we're going to have a little bit of money, but still, as far as Hollywood standards go, it would be considered a no budget feature. But that's the thing that I just was speaking with her about. We want to find actors who want this experience, who need this experience, because it's not a one-way street. You have a small cast and the actors will have substantial roles. And this is something that you don't get as a new actor unless there's something very special or unique about you, or the role requires something special or unique that you can only provide. And that does happen sometimes in this business of Hollywood. But again, you want your actors to really want to do this. And if they are volunteering, you have to respect them. And you have to make accommodations for their time, and you want to be open with them. You want to know that the days they commit to are the days you need them there. And so you have to have a little bit of flexibility. You have to find people that you can count on and rely on. And one of the ways to do that is by rehearsing them. Rehearsing does two things. It makes you realize if the actor will really take this seriously. And I'm not saying monopolize much of their time rehearsing. You want them to take their own time at home or alone, or get together with the other actors on their own time and rehearse and get off book. But you're going to have rehearsals with them, you as a director or a producer, most likely the director, in person. And you want actors that can commit to those rehearsals. What I normally do is I maybe have 2 full rehearsals with the primary actors. And that's the time where we spend and we talk about character. And I want them to be off book when we come to our rehearsals. And that's something that I stress at the casting process very early on. Don't wait till after you find an actor and you like this actor and then, you find out, oh, they can't rehearse or they don't have the time, or they're not willing to make the sacrifices to spend the time rehearsing. So again, all this is talking about how do I find actors to work on my no budget feature. Sometimes you may have an actor who's a friend of yours, who knows you, who knows what you're going through, who knows your side of the table. So that's another possibility. But you don't want to just, if you're taking this seriously and you want to make something that's good, that stands out, no matter what you end up doing with it, you want actors who are committed, who are going to go that extra mile, learn their dialogue, show up prepared, take it seriously, listen to your suggestions as a director. You want actors that are also going to do their homework, who are going to build characters' background and think about what's even not on the page of the script. So there's a lot to it. And it's something that can't be rushed. I've worked in the past with a number of independent filmmakers who don't, I guess like you can say, they don't value actors. They don't have an acting background. They mostly are what I call techie filmmakers, where they have the shiny new camera, or they have the latest gadget that's out, or they can do special effects, and the actors to them are just props. I have never in my career, and again, it comes from my background as being an actor, I never in my career see the actors as secondary. I know how important the actors are and how important a good script is. So that's why I started talking this series of videos I'm putting out right now about the importance of a script, your no budget script. And then now I'm moving on to, you have your script and you're going to find these, let's just make it simple. We're going to find these 4 main characters, and those are who you're going to rehearse with. Those are who you're going to depend on, because if they are not delivering what you need and they're not believable, no matter how much effort you put into it, you're not going to have a good product. So don't think of it. You'll hear a lot of people saying, oh, we can save it in editing. You can't save it in editing, and I'm talking from experience because I've shot stuff and I've made those mistakes. The actors may have not been that dedicated as I thought they would be, and they'd show up without knowing their dialogue, because most independent no budget projects are character driven, and the actor has to be able to believably deliver the dialogue and the character as if they're on stage. They can't count on being able to cut and look a little bit at this line, and then come back. A lot of independent filmmakers shoot the way I shoot, where you do long takes, where you do master shots, where you do coverage, but the coverage is also a master take. That's how I like to shoot. So I like to tell my actors that when we decide to work together, it's going to be almost like we're on stage. We're going to have all the traditional coverage that you need for a film to make it look professional, but as far as the acting goes, we're not going to be broken down into little pieces where, you say one line and then you move here and you move there. I mean, sometimes you may need to do that stuff to get coverage, but the coverage is secondary. I always tell the actor that we do the scenes as masters first. I get all the masters, the cut-ins over the shoulders, that kind of stuff, over the shoulders, shots, masters, and I get all the proper coverage, and then we go back and we do the necessary cut-ins and cutaways. So that's not something they can rely on by coming to the set and not being, off book. So that's another thing. You have to work with actors who and you need to tell them this all up front. Don't wait till you cast them and then they arrive on the set and then you say, okay, but let's do this scene. And then, well, I'm not completely off book. Can I have my script over here? Can I have, no. We don't want that. You want believable actors who are committed. And again, it's hard to find them. So it takes time. That's why you don't want to rush it. You want to find actors who, want to take this journey with you. If you want to make something that's believable, because the worst thing that kills a low budget movie, number one, is a bad script. Number two is stiff, wooden, unbelievable actors. And most of the time, even if an actor is good, they need to rehearse. They may not know that on their own. And you as a director need to rehearse with them before you get on the set. You can't rehearse on the set effectively, unless you're dealing with some, actors who've been in the business and have done tons of work and they're going to come and show up prepared. The actors who are prepared, who we see in our A movies, they do a lot of work before they get to the set. Even the character actors, as myself as a character actor, I do a lot of work before I show up on the set, because most of the time when a character actor shows up on a union set, they'll tell me to, okay, James, this is the scene. You know the scene, we're going to walk in. You walk to that mark, you deliver your dialogue, and you respond, and then we're out of there. You normally don't get a chance to really rehearse the scene. You may, if you're lucky, get to run the scene with your scene partners. And that's a rarity also. So that's why in the professional A movie world, character actors, when they show up, they have to be ready. And all that work has to be done on their own time, offset. You don't come there and expect to rehearse and the director's going to tell you about the character and all that kind of stuff. You need to come ready with your character, with his backstory, who this person is, why he's saying these lines. It doesn't have to be, a lot of times character scenes don't have to be, they're important to the movie, but they're not something that's driving the movie forward. They're not something to move the story forward. So that backlife, that backstory, all that stuff is important. And that's what you need your actors to do on their own time. And even if they're new actors, this is the stuff you need to tell them as a director, especially when you're working with actors who don't have a lot of experience. So again, in closing, you need to realize that searching for your actors takes time. It's not something that's going to be done. You're going to run one casting notice. You're going to maybe have one casting audition. You need to let that be part of your pre-production process. I say when you're making a no-budget film, pre-production and planning and all that stuff, that's the stuff that doesn't cost you money. So take your time, because you want the end product to be something you're proud of. That's why sometimes you'll see low-budget movies who have resources, who have more resources than I've had for my movies over the years. I'm talking $500,000, $600,000. And you wonder why the movie is so bad, because they don't take the time to get a good script. They don't take the time to get good actors. They don't rehearse their actors, and it's amazing sometimes when people will spend all this money, but they won't work on what's important. So keep that in mind as you're planning your no budget project. And another thing that I always say when I talk to young filmmakers, I say basically the days are gone of purposely making a B and a C movie. And I've made those in the past. I used to call those shelf fillers. I used to work for a lot of independent distributors who would fill the shelves at Blockbuster or Hollywood Video with B and C movies. And they're still being made. You can find a lot of them on Tubi. But you don't want to really purposely make those type of films. You want to, if you're spending all the effort and all the work it takes to make a feature film, you want it to be the best that you can do within your resources. And again, where you can spend that time is in pre-production. We talked about the script. We're talking now about finding the best actors that you can find and working with those actors before you arrive on the set. So you need to find actors who are willing to do that, who are willing to make that commitment. And during the rehearsal period, you may find out that the actor is not as flexible as he said he was, or he or she. They may ask you, okay, yeah, I can come to rehearsal, but can I come at 2:30 and can I leave at 3? You know, so you're starting to see those red flags, and don't ignore the red flags. I've ignored them when I was a younger filmmaker, and always disastrous. I pride myself at, I think I mentioned it in some other earlier videos, at being the king of last minute rewrites. And sometimes that's necessary, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You want to find actors who value this opportunity you're giving them. And like I said, it's a two-way street. Make sure no matter what happens with your product, if you don't finish it, you're still going to give those actors the raw footage. Now, I've done that many times over the years. If something wasn't edited or a film didn't turn out the way it should have, or, you know, whatever the reason is, those actors are entitled to the raw footage. They can get it edited on their own. You're not required to edit their scene, but if they spend their time working for you for free, keep that in the back of your mind, that I owe them this footage. And this is me speaking as an actor and a director. So keep that in mind and take the time and put in the effort to find the good actors to help you make your no budget feature look good. I'll see you in the next one.